Hello everyone, welcome back to Tell Me Why. So in the last part, we found out some new information about Marianne, her past, her backstory. And so the last thing we need to figure out is what's in the chest.
Alright, should be easy enough.
A O Maybe it's OA. I'm just going by initials. No. I will figure this out. Maybe it's AO over here. Okay. Whoops. Like Allison, Ollie. Doesn't look like it. So let's try to figure this out.
Hey, I want to take a crack at this one before we try to figure out any others.
Oh.
The princess lost her most precious treasure. That's why it all happened.
I still can't wrap my head around it.
Oh! You guys see that? E-O-L. E-O-L.
Alright, should be easy enough.
That little chuckle. That should be it. Or L-O-E? E-O. Yeah, E-O-L.
Why don't we just break this open? There's a crowbar right downstairs.
What? No. You don't want to try and figure out what all this means?
I'm so done with her riddles.
This should be it. Maybe it's O-L-E. Maybe it's O-L-E.
That crowbar is sounding pretty nice right now.
Honestly. O. L. How is it not that? O-L-E, but that's how we did it. We figured this one out, which was O. There's the L. Then we figured this one out, E.
That crowbar is sounding pretty nice right now.
I am so confused. There's gotta be a secret here somewhere.
That crowbar is sounding pretty nice right now.
O-L-E. What does this do? O-E-L. About L-E-O. We did it. Yes, Leo. That was so confusing. But we
Whoa.
did it.
Did it just get darker in here?
Whoa. Dude, how did Marianne do this? Seriously?
Ollie, she noticed.
Dear Allison and Ollie, we write stories to
How was your son?
understand and be understood, but what good is a story without a first act? I'm sorry I kept mine from you for so long. All my love, goblins.
Why does she have a photo of that tree locked in here?
Another riddle. BB.
Is that?
Leo Ronan.
Oh no.
Why didn't she tell us about him? Why didn't she tell us any of this?
I mean, it's fucking terrible. That's why. Allie, did we do the right thing opening this?
We did. It's better we know what happened, even if it's hard. And there's one more thing we need to see.
Are you sure?
Yes. Come on, let's go to the dock. It's time to finish this.
Man, this was like the most intense thing I've ever
You
done.
really want to go? You sure we've seen everything?
We can keep looking.
I guess we could stay a little longer if you think there's more to find. The Very Old Beaver's Repair List.
That's the story where the princess's house gets damaged by a storm and the animals help her fix it.
Yeah. What did they do to fix it again?
Looks like we're about to find out. The beaver fixes a house. Once upon a time in an ancient deep forest, there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. One night, a particularly violent storm shook the house. It shook the shingles on the roof and the planks on the walls. It even shook the beams on which the house stood, blowing the whole thing near to the ground. The princess hid in a closet, fearing the house would come down on her as she slept. In the morning, the house was still standing, but it was badly damaged. The storm had blown shingles off the roof and planks off the wall, and even bent a post upon which the house stood. The first two things she could fix, but the last concerned her. What will I do? Despairs the wise princess, for though she knew many things, she did not know how to fix the big wooden house. Just then the old bear came by to see if the princess had any trouble in the storm. When he found her nailing planks back into place, he said, "Stop, princess, let me do that for you." "I'm happy to do it," said the princess, "but if you want to help with the roof, you may." When the pair were done with the roof and the walls, they examined a bent support post. "I could throw my body against it," said the old bear. "I am very large." He stretched up on his hind legs, being sure the princess could appreciate how very large he was. Then, charging straight at the post, he threw his body against it with an impressive thud. The impact moved the post, but not too far, and it ended up bent the other direction. The wise princess decided more precision was needed. She thought of the very old beaver, who kept an excellent crafted den. Perhaps she can help. She went to looking for the very old beaver and found the industrious animal hard at work, slapping down mud on a part of her dam that had been blown apart in the storm. Most of her structure was unharmed because the beaver was very good at building things. The princess knew she had come to the right place. "Beaver," she said, "my house was damaged in the storm. Will you help me fix it?" "I believe I could do that, yes," said the very old beaver, and she paused, fixing her own den to follow the princess. The very old beaver examined the big wooden house and nodded. "It will be an easy fix," she said, and she set about riding the post with loud slaps of her tail. When she was done, the wise princess stroked the beaver's head. "Thank you, beaver," she said. "The wind blew the shingles off the roof and the planks off the wall, and even bent this post. Now, thanks to you, I still have a home." "Think nothing of it," said the old beaver, who returned to work on her own den once again. That winter, the very old beaver grew ill, very ill. She was not able to fix her den, nor to gather food. When the princess found out, she set about delivering meals to the beaver. She brought stews of corn and beans and baskets full of bark and twigs from the beaver's favorite aspen. One day, the wise princess noticed that the beaver's den had begun to fall apart. She set about fixing, and though she was not as talented as the very old beaver, the fix kept the creature warm and dry. "Thank you," said the very old beaver. "Of course," she said. "The princess, you helped me when the storm blew my house near the ground. Thanks to you, I still have a home, and I'm happy to do the same." The princess continued to nurse the old beaver until the day she came to the dam and the forest was still. No birds sang, no branches rustled, no small things skirted within an underbrush. "Oh," said the princess, staring sadly at the dam, for she knew the old beaver had passed on. "Goodbye, my friend." And that is how the very old beaver saved the big wooden house, and how the wise princess repaid her kindness. Oh, that's sad, actually.
She fixed the roof shingles. She fixed the broken window. She repaired the water leak. She fixed the planks that were blown off the walls. She slapped the post with her tail to right it. She turned the power back on. Maybe not. Maybe not. Wait. She fixed the planks that were blown off the walls.
Let me see. Wait. The roof and planks on the walls and even bent. Planks back into place. Other direction. What's the structure? Thank you, beaver. The wind blew the shingles off the roof, the planks off the walls, and even bent the post. Okay. So not this one.
Or not. She slapped the post with her tail to right it.
That's it. If I'm reading that correctly.
She fixed the broken window. Wait. She turned the power back on.
Maybe? I don't know. Check the shingle. Nice. Had blown shingles off the roof, planks off the walls, and even bent a post. The first two things, so shingles off the roof and planks off the walls.
Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe not. All right.
Yay!
Damn. That must have been rough on Eddie.
Yeah, he doesn't really like to talk about her.
Dear Marianne, you cover your ears every time I try to have this conversation with you, so I thought I'd have a better chance at doing this in a letter. I know you don't like saying goodbye, so I'll keep my melancholic rambling short and sweet. I want to thank you with all my heart for taking care of me for these past few months. I can't even imagine how exhausting it must have been for you to look after a sick old lady when you have two small children at home. I know you want me to keep fighting this disease and hoping for recovery, but it's always been a great strength of mine to know it's time to let go, and that time has come. Wait, this is a girl. I thought this was Eddie. Oh my god. I'd like to ask you for one last favor. Please take care of Eddie after I'm gone. My poor boy puts on a brave front ever since his father died, but I know he's in pain. I would be so much more at peace knowing he still has family. Maybe he could teach the kids how to fish. He loves spending time with them. Thank you for the warmth and peace you brought to my life. Give the kids a kiss for me, will you? I thought this was...
The crafty goblin's good deeds.
Of course. The goblins had to help out the creatures of the forest to pay off their debt to the pelican.
Well, what did they do?
I don't really remember.
The crafty goblin's good deeds. Man, this game really said, oh, you don't want to read this? Well, you're gonna have to. What was it? Hold on. Back. The crafty goblin's good deeds. Good deeds. Huh? There's none of these.
They broke open the beehive for the bear. They helped fix the beaver dam. They had to give nuts to the muskrat. They removed a thorn from the frog's back. They gave the stalwart moose a good scratch on the back. They hugged the princess when she was crying. Maybe not. Wait. 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 They broke open the beehive for the bear.
Oh! Hey! We did it without even reading it. Haha!
Our lives would have been so different if their friendship hadn't gone to shit.
The Pelican Crossing is a specialty gift boutique located near the Oshea Glacier, catering to Gastineau Channel tourists as well as Delaware Crossing locals. We specialize in an assortment of high-quality products from home accessories, handmade souvenirs to personalized apparel, and locally made art. The Pelican Crossing will be the first store to act as a relay between the buzzing arts and crafts scene and customers. In addition to a wide array of novelty, handcrafted products, the consumer will enjoy friendly and knowledgeable customer service from Becci store owner Tessa Becci and up-and-coming artist Marianne Ronan. The business plan is prepared to obtain financial in the amount of $20,000 to purchase inventory and to help cover expenses in the first year of operations. In year 1, the Pelican Crossing plans to break even, and in year 2, we plan to generate a moderate profit. Working on the executive summary part of our business plan, what do you think, Tessa? Alright, anything else she's looking at?
The old bear's gifts for the princess. I'm totally blanking on that story. What did he give her again?
Why don't we open up the book and check?
The old bear's gift to the princess. The Bear and the Princess. Once upon a time in an ancient deep forest, the old bear stood on the bank of a river, swiping at salmon on their way to the spawning grounds. Just as he got his paw on a particularly fat one, he heard a woman shouting for help. He considered simply eating his salmon, but then she screamed again, and he lumbered over to investigate. After a short walk, he found the princess clinging to the top of the tree while a wolf snarled and snapped at the base of the tree. Old Bear would normally not get in the middle of such a situation. After all, as a feral predator, he understood the wolf's need to hunt. But when he saw the princess, he was struck by her beauty and he knew he had to help. With a great roar, the bear heaved onto his hind legs, rising to his full height. The wolf snapped and snarled in his direction, but the bear roared again, and the wolf took off into trees, tail between his legs. The old bear fell back down onto all fours and stared up at the princess. She regarded him fearfully. "You can come down," he said. "How do I know you didn't save me just so you could eat me yourself?" asked the princess. "I suppose this is a fair question," admitted the old bear, "but I promise I won't eat you." The princess had no reason to trust Old Bear except that he had kind eyes, and so she slowly made her way down the tree. When she reached the ground, the bear only watched her, and so she supposed she was not going to be eaten today. "Thank you," she told Old Bear. "Of course," he said. "Can I walk with you back to your home?" "Of course," said the princess. And so the princess and the old bear walked together through the forest, back to the big wooden house. After that day, the princess would occasionally find gifts from the bear: a fresh caught salmon, a handful of ripe berries, a newly bloomed bluebell. One spring, when a sudden thaw flooded the path of the prince's home, the old bear was there, and she rode his back across the river. The old bear began to think that the princess should be his mate. After all, she had no mate, and she needed one, and he could keep her warm and provided her a much more suitable den and catch fish for her and protect her from wolves. She, in turn, would brush out his fur and pick berries without smushing half of them, and scratch that one part of his back he couldn't reach. And with how she took care of the goblins, she would be an excellent mother for his cubs. One day, the old bear came with a ring of spruce and asked the princess to be his bride. "I'm sorry," said the princess. "You are a very good friend, and I appreciate all you've done for me, but I cannot marry you. You're a bear. I'm a princess. It would never work." The old bear was crushed. "Can we still be friends?" He asked. "We will always be friends," said the princess, "but I will never marry you." The old bear and the princess carried on their friendship, and after 1 year he tried again to ask her to be his bride, but once again she refused him. This happened 1 year later, and 1 year after that, and finally the princess said, "Old bear, you are my dear friend, and I appreciate all you have done for me, but I would sooner you have left me to the wolves than marry you, and that is how it will always be. I have my hands full with the 2 goblins who live under my house, and they are all I need." That wounded the old bear deeply, but it was finally enough to stop his proposals. They remained friends, and he continued to give her gifts of fresh salmon, ripe berries, and new bloomed bluebells, but the old bear never asked the princess to be his bride, as much as he wanted to. And that's how the princess befriended the old bear and how she refused him. That's actually sad. I have a feeling this is about Marianne and Sam. Hold on, 1 second, guys. I need to drink. Fresh salmon, ripe berries, and new bluebells. Berries?
A newly bloomed bluebell? Huh. Fresh
Salmon?
caught salmon? Some roses, maybe?
No.
Or not. Hazelnuts?
No.
Or not. A handful of ripe berries?
Yes. Yay!
Nice. Man, he had it bad. Just couldn't let go.
Dude, I told you I was Sam. Ugh. Sorry, guys. I've been reading a lot. My throat is dry. Sorry for the note under the door like a prison inmate. You okay? I stopped by and rang a couple times this week, but you didn't answer. I could see the light in the hayloft, so I figured you were in but didn't want to talk. I hope I didn't ruin everything. I know I probably came on kind of strong, but the thing is, I don't know how to talk to a woman like you. You are strong and kind, and you know so much, it's hard for me to know how to keep up. I guess all that went to my head, but I want you to know I got the message, and I'm gonna get out of your hair now, and there doesn't need to be any bad feelings. We can pass in the street and say hello or not. It's okay. P.S. I noticed your car was leaking, so I put some sealant in there. You might need to take it to the shop, though. Let me know if you want me to come with you, because sometimes these guys try to rip you off. If not, it's no big deal. Sam. Damn, she's already moving on.
The crafty goblin's loot.
That's from The Princess and the Two Thieves. I drew the original.
And I distinctly remember drawing that cake, which is arguably the best part of that illustration.
All right, Picasso. And you probably remember what the goblins stole in that story, huh?
I swear, this whole part is just gonna be us figuring this out. What was it? What did you say? The crafty goblins and the what? No. We read that one. What was the story again? Here we go. The Princess and the Two Thieves. Once upon a time in an ancient deep forest there lived a wise princess in a big wooden house. The house was built from strong wood of the forest, and it kept the princess warm and safe. The princess was not a native of the forest, but she never spoke about where she had come from, for it made her cry. She did not have many friends, but that is how she liked it. The forest was big and deep, and many paths led to her house, but not many visitors passed by. The princess was happy to be left alone in the big house in the deep forest. She knew that the forest would provide for her, but that its generosity had to be respected, so she only took what she needed, and for a long time life was just fine for the princess in the big wooden house. One winter day, when the snow blanketed the earth and the ice bent the trees low, the wise princess realized that food was disappearing from her house. It was not much at first, only a few fruits and nuts, and eggs vanishing during the night. Few fruits, nuts, and eggs vanishing during the night. Maybe it's the birds, she said, or the mice, and for a time the princess was okay losing some food, for the winter was long and little creatures needed to eat too. But then small items started to disappear as well. Spoons, plates, forks, knives, and blankets. It was as if every time she was in one part of the house, something disappeared in another room. That can't be birds or mice, said the princess. I think I have a thief. So she went outside to look for traces in the snow and noises in the wind, but there was nothing to be found nor to be heard. That's strange, said the princess. Maybe the thief is hiding inside my house. For many days she hunted, looking behind the curtains, under the bed, in the attic, and the chimney, behind the poles and under the carpets, but she found nothing. And as she searched, food kept on disappearing night after night. I will make a cake, frowned the princess, a big cake with every egg and fruit and nut I still have, so that I only have one thing to keep my eye on. She spent the whole day making the cake and using everything she had left. The cake she made was so big she could hardly carry it. If I manage to protect the cake, I'll be able to survive the long winter, she said. So she added a lock to the oven, and she kept the big cake safe inside. But the next morning, the lock had been opened, and the cake had disappeared. At first, the princess cried because the cake was last of her food until the snow melted. Then she noticed 2 trails of tiny feet in the spilled flour, and she followed the tracks to a hidden hatch in the floorboards. So that is how the princess realized that the 2 tiny thieves were living under the wooden house right below her feet. So, only a few fruits and nuts and eggs vanishing during the night. A few fruit.
Maybe they took some of the princess's fruit? Did they steal candy?
No.
Actually, I'm not sure.
Eggs.
I'm pretty sure they stole some eggs. Some flour for the cake, maybe?
No.
Maybe not. Some flour for the cake, maybe?
No.
Maybe not.
Nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts.
Didn't they take some of the print? Maybe not. What if they took some spoons?
Oh, they did.
That's it. I always wondered where that drawing went. She said it was her favorite, and then one day it just disappeared.
You're the best mom in the world, the prettiest princess. Alright, I guess that's it. I don't know what this is.
There you go, stalwart moose. Back in your pond, big frog.
Oh.
Gold lady stays locked up in her castle. The old bear's gotta
This
be
is
in his ice
everything that
cave.
we found. I'm
We'll
gonna
let the mangy
cry.
muskrat have his rock back. The Ice King goes in the forest, obviously.
Oh, we're missing one. That's fine.
That's the pious pelican spot. Crafty goblins go here.
Oh.
Moon hag's gotta be imprisoned in her lake. The mad hunter, always on the princess's trail. The wise princess goes in the big wooden house, of course.
Oh, that makes me so sad that we missed 2 of them. But anyway, I'm gonna end the part here. I know, that was a lot of puzzles, and I'm super duper tired. So, in the next part, it will hopefully be the end. I thought this part would be the end, but because of all these puzzles and all the readings, I need a little break. So, yes, thank you guys for watching this part, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. So, goodbye. Have a fantastic, great day.